Welcome. The point of this talk really is about the challenges that you face testing your mobile websites. I'm sure you all have some cupboards, drawers full of phones sitting around. And what I want to try and kind of persuade you guys to do today and really help you go in that direction is talk about some approaches, maybe some techniques about using these tools that are out there. And obviously, we have our own tools out there. So what did Keynote do? We believe we're the leader in internet mobile cloud testing and monitoring. We have a few of our tools here. Obviously, on the left-hand side, anything for development, and on the right-hand side, things that we use for production. So mobile web perspective and mobile device perspective, sorry. So to the point, how do you test your mobile web app? It could be a native application, but obviously, let's talk about my web app. So there are a couple of different types of testing that we feel there are out there. So one of the challenges that people have is, how do we do that testing? Do we have enough devices? Can I get coverage? What part of the testing cycle am I in? So we've kind of created this little grid to kind of give people an idea of, if you're in the smoke testing, then obviously you might want to do some testing on your own devices. Or maybe if you are doing some sort of regression testing, then you might need a few automation scripts, or you might need to build some framework to sort of do this in a much more smarter kind of way. So step one, which we believe, obviously we have a product called DA-Free. What is it? What is this step? So firstly, it's free. Everyone likes free stuff. You can obviously relate to it. It's web-based. But what does it do? So we offer a solution which has real devices, multiple operating systems, and usage on there. But the purpose of what this is to give you the ability to try your site out on real physical handsets. Handsets that you may not have access to, handsets that you might find expensive to buy with the contract prices out there these days. So let me give you a little bit of a demonstration of DA-Free. So obviously, this is one of the tools that are out there. Let's log in. OK. So what does it allow you to do? Well, it's not a simulator. It's not an emulator. So if you're used to, obviously, developing things on your desktop and using them, this is not exactly the same thing. So let's take an example. So I'll right-click on the iPhone itself, actually, and I'll select Acquire. So it looks like it's a simulator or an emulator, but actually, when you acquire the device, what we do is actually connect you directly to the screen of that physical device, that real device itself. So if I click Wake Up Device, here we go. We have a real device on iOS 7. So I can start to use that device now as well if I want to. I can perform swipes on there. I can start to navigate with some of the physical hardware buttons. So what we try to encourage you to do is to really do your testing around what the user is going to be seeing. So try it on a real device. See what they are seeing. So this is obviously an example. So let's take a use case. Okay, I work for an American company, so let's choose an American site. So let's go for a car manufacturer. So let's find the browser, if I can find the browser, that is. Nope, can't find the browser. Never mind. Someone's hidden it. All right, there we go. So Safari. And let's go to a simple web page. Get rid of that. And let's use some of the features on the right-hand side. So text entry. All right, I need to send something to the phone. And let's type this. So I'm an avid car fan, so let's go with that and send the text. And it's done it completely wrong, as you get with a demo, so never mind. So, OK, so let's change that a little bit ourselves. So we'll say, OK, it's a web entry. Let's put a dot in there or something. Or let's just go with it. Let's go with the flow, just see what it does. OK, here we go. Ukura's website. So we can see clearly when it renders on the iPhone, it's fantastic. It's a mobile web page. You can navigate easily. It's structured well. You can see all the items correctly. What happens on a different device, however? So now let's go to something like a Nokia. Everyone loves Nokia. So let's acquire that device. OK, so now let's do the same thing on the Nokia device now. Wake the device up. And again, open that device. Oh, didn't do it enough. There we go. All right, so let's change the orientation a little bit. Change it to left. And again, let's do exactly the same thing this time. Let's go to exactly the same page. Let's see what it's doing. And do that. So we give you the ability to use the physical handsets that you normally don't acquire. But what's good about this and why we sort of encourage this is that you're not going to see every single time when you're developing an application exactly what your users are going to be visible and what they're going to see. So we can see automatically, hold on a second, it's rendered the entire page. It's a desktop web page. So obviously they've missed something here. So they've not tested their page properly on all the handsets, and they haven't realized actually anyone using a Nokia device is not going to be able to see the mobile page correctly. So that's what we allow you to do on physical handsets. OK, so DA free. But what do you do next? Well, do you go live with your website? You tried it on a few physical handsets, maybe? Wait. What were the handsets I didn't test on? What does it look like in Beijing? You know, why did I create this in the first place? I'm confused. I'm just going to go for a beer instead. So we think step 2, Might. So we have a product called Might. It is, again, free and has the following. So emulated devices, different profiles, unlimited usage. So what does Might allow you to do? So this is the second part of the sort of best practices we feel. You've done your testing on real devices. Now look at it from sort of real low-level kind of standards, sort of the W3C standards that are out there. So here's one I've created earlier, and I'm going to run this. So Might allows you to use device profiles to check the data that's coming back from your actual live web page. So what we can do is choose maybe an iPhone 5, and we can obviously start each script as a new user, and we can run that. What this will go and do is go to the page, use that iPhone 5 device profile. From that, what we then have the ability to do is look at some of the details of that actual script. So here we can see the waterfall graph. We can see what items were downloaded. But what's most important about this is our Might score. So what we do is we rank your page based on some of the W3C standards that you can see on here, and we provide your page a grading, essentially. So this works fine on the iPhone 5. You can see, obviously, the number of bytes downloaded. So if I just move this to the right, 67 kilobytes. Took, obviously, 1,444 milliseconds. Let's try the same thing now on the Nokia device. And run the same thing again. So we've confirmed there's clearly a problem here, right? So we know that something's not right. The entire page is being run. So again, let's go back to the waterfall graph. What are the problems that we are seeing here? Let's go back to the Might score. We've got a lower rating on the page. We can see the data that's coming down. We can see that some of the W3 standards, OK, even though they're passing, and in some cases, obviously not here, but we know that there's a lot more data being downloaded as well. So here we've got a full sort of almost meg worth of a download. So clearly not good. So we encourage you to kind of use these kind of tools and, you know, use Might. It's free, but take that approach. You know, validate on real handsets. Use that data that you've captured. So simply, in summary, there are really only 2 steps that you have. validate on real devices, and obviously validate on simulators and emulators to see the data that's coming down the W3C best practices. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed my lightning demo. Please come to our booth.